I'm a little
Okay, there we go. Oh, I posted it in the software support channel. Okay, I have
okay.
to fix that later. We can still move it. I will move it later when you're doing the demo. But yeah, looks like it's there. We are live. I already have muted myself. And hello to those who are already joining us. Thanks for being here. And actually, today is interesting because we're going to talk about a new feature. So settle in. Just allow me to do some of the usual housekeeping. So if you're watching us live right now, you know the drill. You can always put your questions in the comment section. And for those who will be able to catch the recording of this session, feel free to do so as well in whatever platform you find us. There's always a comment section, and then just type it even after the session. Our team will be happy to answer any of those questions. Okay, so once again, welcome everybody to the session today. And we're going to look at a new feature, which is the rentals feature. Okay, so this is especially relevant for businesses that rent physical assets rather than booking someone else's time. So examples would be equipment, vehicles, rooms or facilities, vacation properties, Airbnb is a thing. Also have event equipment, recreational gear, and other inventory that customers reserve for a certain period of time. Okay, so with this, we will look at how a rental business can create a more organized process around the complete customer journey with availability, inventory, pricing, payments and deposits, booking management, and customer communication and follow up. The rental system can support reservations ranging from hours to days, weeks, or months while keeping booking and availability information connected. Okay, so just allow me to give you just a few more details about it. And then later on, Maria will be showing you the actual feature inside GrowthGenie 360. Okay, so first, what makes rentals different from a regular calendar? Yeah, a regular appointment calendar usually answers one main question. Is this person or service available at this time? Now, as a rental business has several additional questions to answer, like, is the item available? How many are available? How long can the customer have that item? And talking about costing, what should it cost for those dates? Is there a deposit that is a deposit required? And you can also have to think about, do you need time afterward for cleaning or preparation of the items or the equipment? Okay, with a regular appointment, someone might reserve 30 minutes, 60-minute, 15-minute booking consultation with an employee of your company or directly to you. But with a rental, someone might reserve, for example, two kayaks from Friday morning through Sunday afternoon. So you see the picture. You're not just only managing time here, but you're also managing time plus physical inventory, quantity, pricing, and operational availability. Okay, I already gave a quick examples earlier of businesses that could use rentals. So this is kind of like more detail into that. So equipment rental companies renting tools, machinery, or specialty equipment. Another one talking about vacation rentals, managing, excuse me, cabins, apartments, rooms, or short-term properties. And then you also have events, event and venue businesses that rent reception halls, conference rooms, or other spaces. The fourth one, let's talk about party rental companies that rent tables, chairs, stands, speakers, lighting, or decorations. And then we have a client for this one, recreational businesses like renting like RVs or something that I mentioned earlier, kayaks, bicycles, boats, jet skis, camping equipment, and so on. And for vehicle storage facility businesses, managing vehicles, storage units, workspaces, or similar rentable assets. So you see, there's a lot of businesses that can benefit from these feature. The exact setup will look different for all those specific businesses, but on the underlying problem is the same. Knowing what is available, when it is available, how much is it or what is the cost, and what needs to happen before and after the reservation. All right, so now Maria is going to take over from here and walk us through the rentals area inside GrowthGenie 360.
All righty. Thank you, Diana. Let me see. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quick.
Okay.
All right. Where's that pop-up? Okay, there we go. All righty. We are sharing. Can you see my screen?
Let's just wait for a little bit.
Okay.
So, if your business is mentioned in those examples, or even if not, and you can benefit from this, then pay attention to this feature. And now it's showing up, Maria.
Okay, awesome. All righty. So let's talk about, we're going to show you how to go through the rentals area, which is, like Diana said, it's new. So it's really exciting to learn a new capability, something new that GrowthGenie can do. And it's really exciting because then it helps clients that maybe were using like a third party rental booking to put everything into the one platform, and that's what GrowthGenie is all about. So I'm going to go ahead and start showing you where we go. And just as a quick note before we get started, the rentals area is not available by default just yet. So it does have to be enabled. So of course, if you are a client that rents items out and you're coming into GrowthGenie360, that's something that we would enable. But if that's something, if you're a current client that you want to use the rentals area, then we just need to enable it. So you would just need to reach out to us really quick and we can get that taken care of. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so the rental area is going to be found inside of calendar. So this is your main menu, and you're just going to click on calendars. Now you're going to click calendar settings right here at the top. And as you can see, we have some new items right here. We have the rentals button. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And this is what the rentals area looks like. So we are going to go through and show you how to create a listing, categories, and just how the process of the booking works. So the first thing that we're going to do is add a category. And we do that so that we can keep the, like the rentals checkout product area organized. Otherwise, people are going to get distracted or confused because they can't find everything or anything. Maybe they're just focusing on kayaks. Or we're gonna talk. Our example today is going to be a what's it called, an outdoor equipment rental. That's why I'm saying kayak. But maybe your clients just want to talk about kayaks and they don't want to see other stuff, other water equipment. So a category enables your clients to be able to look for exactly what they need. All right, and our first item is going to be water equipment. Okay, and automatically creates a URL. And let me just go ahead and show you what that looks like. Okay, and as you can see right here, you have the water equipment area. If you click on this little three dot button, you can share it. And what basically that means is that you are going to get a link that sends people to that specific category. So if you have multiple listings, it's going to send them to all those items inside of the category. And I'm going to show you that later once we build our first listing, because right now there's nothing there. Okay, so other possible categories in the specific example could be paddle boards, safety equipment, camping equipment, or rental packages. And right now we're going to create a listing. So the way that you create a listing is right here, add new or new listing. Okay, they both do the exact same thing. You can upload a photo if you would like, and you can drag and drop like we usually do. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you. Okay. All right. So you can upload a photo here. I was hoping I had a handy photo, but I think I cleared out my photos yesterday night from the computer. So, okay, let's see. Give me just a sec. Okay. All right, so the listing, the item is going to be a single kayak, and we're going to add it to the listing name. And we can set up a description. You don't have to. So either one, but it usually helps to have a description just because people or customers sometimes don't realize what they're renting. So it's better to give them more information. So we're just going to say this is a kayak for one person. Okay. Okay, so our base price is going to be 40 per day, or yeah, 40 per day. So this just means that a person can rent your single kayak for the whole day for $40. And you also have the option to rent per hour, per week, or per month. And of course, we're going to put it in our category water equipment. Accidentally removed that. And then here's the URL. Of course, you can change it to whatever you want and active status. Okay, and it also has inactive. And what you're going to do next is click on the advanced settings. You probably want to click on the save, and that's fine. You can go back to the advanced settings after that, but I would click on advanced settings and it's going to take you to the full listing page. Okay, right here you can see all of the items that we filled out in the little pop-up, and another option before right here. The enable listing specific form means it basically means what it says. It's a listing specific form, and the forms are what you ask for, the information that you ask for from a client whenever they're checking out. So like their name, their email, their phone number, etc. You can use the enable listing specific form if you are renting maybe like a more expensive equipment, or maybe something that depends on age, and you need to add it just for that specific listing. So if your double kayaks are for people, and they have to put down a certain weight, then you can have a form that ask for that. But if everything else doesn't need, you don't need to know that information for safety reasons, then you wouldn't need to know that. So that's what enabling a listing specific form is. Alrighty, so our inventory and pricing. So after this, we're going to go ahead and move to inventory and pricing, and this is where it starts to get really fun. And also you have to pay attention to a lot of the things that are going on here, okay? So as you can see, a lot of these items are automatically toggled off, and of course we're going to toggle on inventory. If you don't toggle it on, the system is going to assume that you have unlimited of the rental item, which I mean, if you have unlimited kayaks, that's pretty cool, but you probably don't. So you want to do the $8, or I'm so sorry, you want to do like a stock number. So right now we're going to add 8. Variants are something that you can also use. So when you enable the variant, you're not going to be able to do the inventory, because inventory is basically how many number of the same items you have to rent out. And variance means that they're going to be some different, like variables in the item that you're buying. So say something like maybe you are renting a single kayak, and then also you're renting one listing is like single kayak, and then the other one is like the other option is single kayak with a life vest or something like that. And you want to make sure that your customers are seeing that they can rent both of them together without having to go to another listing. So you can enter a variant here. Alrighty, and that would have its own price and inventory and all that stuff. But we are going to just play with a regular listing today. All right, so base price, booking until, so we can, or sorry, booking unit. We could do hour, day, whatever it is that you would like, and we can also ask for a security deposit. So just in case they break it, damage it, or lose it or steal it, you can ask for a security deposit amount. Okay, and then so that's that for the pricing. And right here we have advanced pricing, which are a lot of really useful options that you can set up. So seasonal pricing So this is kind of like the example that I would use is maybe going to, you have people that are visiting your shop in at Lake Tahoe. And during the summer, you have an influx of families coming out to the lake. So you have more demand. And so because you have more demand, you can always increase the price. And during the winter, I don't know who would use a kayak in Lake Tahoe during the winter, but maybe the people do. I don't know. But maybe you don't have as much demand, but you do rent them out. Like you rent out the single kayaks still. You can also like decrease the price. All right. Or you have the price just be like the base. So if the seasonal pricing just kind of means like, hey, this is my busy season, I'm gonna make it a tiny bit more expensive because there's so much demand. And then you can set up the date. So say your season starts usually on Memorial Day. That's kind of like the season starting point for a lot of outdoor activities. So you can add you can add something like May and then the date that Memorial Day starts at, and then your end date would be probably Labor Day, which is in September. So that would be like your busiest season where you can increase your pricing for the seasonal pricing. And you can either do it by percentage or by flat. So, meaning you can increase like 10% of the price or just $10 automatically. And you can add more seasonal pricing. So, if you have a high season or a middle ground season, you can do both of them. Okay, so your other one's going to be day of the week pricing. And the example that I can think of is there is like a local pumpkin patch, right? It's very popular in October. During on Monday through Thursday, they don't charge for parking. Friday, they charge a certain amount. Saturday and Sunday, it's a little bit higher. So you can set that up that way. So say like on Monday you want to have a different you want to have your flat rate of $40 per day. And you want to do that for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, things are getting really busy. Uh, Sorry, it's percentage. So we add the percentage that you want to increase it by zero. Things are getting really busy. There's a high demand every single Friday, and you need to increase your pricing. So you can choose to increase it by like a 10%, and then Saturdays are like 20%, and Sundays are 20%. Okay. So that's kind of what we mean when we say day of week pricing. Very useful for, for your seasonal or weekly business. And the next one is duration discounts. So, you're renting your single kayak for one day, it's a $40 fee. Say somebody's vacationing in Lake Tahoe, they're going to stay there for a month or two, all of summer break, and they want to rent it. They always want to have it always available. And if that's something that you are, like something that you want to do, you can offer them a discount. So if they're renting it out for 2 months and you don't want to charge them 40 per day, which could be a lot, you can do a little discount. And it doesn't matter what you do. So you can do like I don't know, 10% discount if they have it for like as many days. So 60 days, which is, 2 months. Okay. And you can add other ones. So say they want to keep it for 90 days, then that would be like a 20% discount. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. That is something that you can do here. And then also quantity discounts. All right. Say somebody wants to rent 20 different single kayaks because they're having a family reunion and everybody's going to go on a kayaking adventure. You can do that by adding the discount and then adding a minimum quality. So if somebody's like, I'm going to rent 20, they're going to rent 20, then you're going to offer, I don't know, 15% off. And then, of course, you can add more. All right. So that is the pricing and inventory tab. You can control absolutely, you can control a lot of different scenarios that fit your business, which I think is pretty useful, honestly, and it is. And also, just as a side note, I do feel like this is very comparable to other websites like I don't know, Travelocity or anything like that, or any rental sites that I've seen, and I feel like a lot of small businesses don't really use the like a rental software. So this is pretty cool. You can start tracking everything online. Alrighty, so we are going to continue to configure, and the next tab is going to be booking settings. Okay, give me just a sec. Okay, so your booking settings for the billing period. So that's how your clients can choose the rental duration while booking. So you can either do date and time, date, or fixed duration. So if you have like a hard, hey, you can only rent the items like a certain time or anything like that. Nobody else, you can't do anything else, like no higher, no lower. You can do that. But you can also uh, configure your minimum duration. So if say that you just want you require a at least 2 day minimum rental, and then you can't rent it out more than 7 days because then you need to make sure that it has repairs or anything like that. Then you can set that up. If you don't have that kind of, like if you don't do any, you don't use any minimum or max, you can, of course, leave it blank. Now, for the pre-buffer time and the post-buffer time, this is very important for, uh, you know, business owners that are renting out items because this basically means the time between rentals. So, say one person order like does a rental from 1 to 2, and then another person now has the ability to book from 3 to 4 if you choose that. So, if you have like a I don't know, like a 30-minute pre-buffer and a post buffer time of 30 minutes. That's a whole hour between bookings. And that allows you to clean or disinfect the item or make sure that everything looks good or whatever else that you have to provide the client. That kind of gives you like a little bit of buffer time between rentals so that you can take a look at your product and and not be as rushed as you would be between all of the rentals that you have scheduled. Okay, the middle scheduling notice just kind of says like, hey, how like can you, I don't know, book a minute before, a day before. You have to have a minimum. I think usually when if you're like doing rental rooms or rental vacationing houses, then you would want to do like a 24-hour minimum scheduling notice. That way you're able to clean up the place and make sure that it has all the amenities ready. So you can do that, and you can do it as minimum as 1 minute, which is common. I remember going to the lake once and just walking up to like the rental place for water equipment, and they just put our information right there and then. So that's something that you can do if you have clients that are coming to you to rent. And then max advance booking window. I would recommend that you set this up because if you don't want to let people rent 6 months in advance, unless it's like a big like family, I don't know, unless it's like a big set vacation that they're trying to do like in advance for summer vacation or Christmas or anything like that, then I would recommend that you have a max advance booking window. And that just means that they have a certain amount of time to book it in the future. All right. So that is what that would be. And then let's do 2 weeks. And all right, let's go ahead and save changes. And it moves us. Let me just make sure. Okay, perfect. And then it's going to move us to the calendar sync. This doesn't need to be set up. The only reason why it's here is because you might want to check your rental spots against any type of, I don't know, any type of like activity that you might have going on through your personal or your other work calendars. So if you are a one person like business that and you're the only one that has availability to provide your customers with the rental, then you can't you check it against your personal calendar to make sure that you don't have anything else going on at that time. So if you do, then people can't sign up to rent during that specific time. So basically what you do during a when you send out a calendar inside of GrowGenie 360, it's basically that. And you don't have to add one because a lot of businesses will have uh, what's it called, multiple staff. So that's their job to be there or to meet clients for the rental. So you don't have, it's like all open windows because these people are going to be available during that time. Okie dokie. Now let's preview the booking page. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that. And again, it's going to be super simple. So because we didn't add a picture, this is kind of what it looks like. And again, that looks like what you see when you go into those discount hotel rental websites. Alrighty, so let's see. You would have the picture right here, you would have the description right here, and of course your title for what it is that you are renting. And then you would have your business name up here at the top. Start date. So because we have the capability to rent like a minute before even, then you have all these availabilities. Start time, you can pick whatever start time depending on your business hours, and then end date, you only have like a little bit of time to uh, rent it out to. So alrighty, and as you can see right here, here's my availability as well. So I think I did like 60 days, so it just kind of stops in October. And now we are going to con oh, now I'm going to show you the listing, the category URL. So I copied the category URL earlier so I can show you how that works. And you know, again, this looks exactly like any other rental site. So it's like super familiar for your customers. Like it's not going to be complicated for them to figure out. It's going to be super simple. And right here, you can have all of the items inside of the water sports category and look, select the availability for the whole category. So maybe you're looking for multiple items and you don't want to go one by one. You want to look through the availability for all of them. You can do that here. Alrighty, apply, and it's going to just add a lot of these because August 14th. Okay, there's no availability because of the calendar that is it's a test account. So, anyways, price range you can also move through price range. It's gonna do 40 and 40. It's not gonna move because that's the only item that we have available right now. Okay, now we're going to go back to the single product page and we are going to, oh, one thing I forgot to show you, as you can see right here, the quantity is your max 8, which is your inventory that we set up early. And of course, you can rent those out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue to the checkout. And right here, it's going to show you the item that you are renting. And if you have more, it'll show you right here. As you can see right here, the security deposit is showing up right here, and the pricing for these 7 days, 47 is showing right here. And just as a little note, you might notice that the security deposit is here, but it doesn't seem to be adding up. Well, this deposit is not charged during your checkout. When you put in a card, it'll charge you based on whatever rental after the rental ends. So kind of like a hotel type of situation. They put in their card in the system, and and the system automatically charges them after. Okay, and let me go ahead and just show you what comes next. Continue with the checkout. And of course, the first name, last name, phone number, email, anything else, and then your disclaimer, your little, like terms of use. And then if we had a credit card processor installed on this test account, then we would see the fields to pay with a card. And then you would confirm booking, and it would take your client to a thank you page. And I'm going to show you after that, I'm going to show you how you can configure a lot of the follow-ups that, happen after your client checks out, which are going to be your reminder emails, your reminder texts, your follow-ups, your anything like that. Okay, I'm gonna show you how that works. Okie dokie. Okay, so I'm gonna show you now where you can do like where you can deal with the settings. So you can see right here, here are my listings back in the calendars area, and you have the global listings now. Alrighty. So now you can see the business operating hours. That means that these are the times these are the times and dates that your business is open accepting rentals. Right now we have it open 24 hours a day for the whole week, but you can adjust that as you see fit. If you're only open during special occasions because you're renting out something extremely, I don't know, special or rare and or expensive, I don't know, maybe you're renting a boat. You have one boat and you're going to be at Lake Tahoe during this date and you want to just add date specific hours, you can do that. All right. And slot interval, that's 60 minutes. So it just shows like if somebody books, it's going to show people like one person, if I was booking, it's going to show you like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. If you do it 30 minutes, it's going to show them 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., and so on. Um, oh, oops. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You
Okay.
lost you for a bit.
Okay, yeah, my microphone switched for some reason. Okay, so your business time zone, just leave it as is. You don't want to change time zones unless you are far away. I don't know. That could be a little bit confusing. You want to toggle on the auto confirmation bookings. That's not going to be toggled on. So oh, wait, you don't want to do it. If you just want to auto confirm, so you just want to make it so that people can confirm or can book automatically without you having to approve it, then you toggle this on. If you want to approve it, then you leave it toggled off. Enable multi-item cart. This is the one that you should probably leave on if you have multiple items that you want people to be able to order in one transaction. If for some reason your customers can only order one item per checkout, then you would toggle it off. And of course, don't forget to save your changes. Okay, so these are going to be the settings for our booking page. So we have a very, very basic booking page right here, right? Right here, you can set up your company logo, your company name, and your company slug, which is just the URL, and your business location. You can pick colors. Background is something that needs to be configured in the theme, but everything else that you can also configure the buttons if you want to write something else other than confirm booking or even adding an exciting exclamation mark so that your customers can feel excited about what's going on, then you can do that. You can also insert custom code. So if you're familiar with programming and you want to make it look an exact way, like maybe you don't like the layout or something like that, you can insert custom code. And let's see. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and save the changes. Now we're going to go to payment settings. And this is, you would have connected your payment integration previously, so you can set it live. And of course, your currency. So I don't know, maybe you're renting to a lot of people who are coming out of the country. When I've been outside the country and I've purchased something, they always ask me, do you want to pay in US dollars or do you want to pay in your card's like native currency? And so you can give people that option. As you can see, you have a lot of options. And I think any traveler will tell you always have them charge you in your native currency whenever you're abroad, because then the fees or the conversion is better. So just a little tip if you're not aware of that. Okay, so and you can also require the payment at booking, or maybe you don't require it right away. Sometimes when you're renting out a hotel room, you just make the booking without any type of deposit, and you don't have to require the payment for the booking right away. And then right here, actually, one of the things that I forgot to mention earlier when it comes to security deposits, it's not automatically enabled. So I recommend that you always go to the global settings first to set up to configure all of your settings before you start making your listings. So um, you want to go ahead and enable that security deposit because it's going to be disabled. If you are requiring those, then you can enable that. So here's what, earlier we saw. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Earlier we saw that the security deposit is not charging right away. It's going to charge after your rental is over. So that's because I added the card on file. If I click on the collect upfront and I refresh, and if the cache is not being weird, then it would work. Let me see. Okay. Continue checkout. So now it's adding the security deposit onto the total price so that your customer can pay now. Okay, so just a lot of options that you want to do. And then of course you want to set up your taxes, and that is set up in the inside of the payments area of the platform. Now, next up are going to be your notifications, and this is just how people get notifications from their book.
That's a nice verb. Wait, lost your audio. Can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
There's an Yeah, it's okay now. Earlier there's an echo. It's like, can you hear? But now it's okay.
Okay, it disconnected from my headphones again for some reason. But anyway, so this is where your clients are going to you control everything that your clients any emails that your clients get regarding their bookings. So you can do a reschedule, a follow-up after their booking. The native emails will automatically detect after when, send them an email after their booking is scheduled. And I'm just gonna go in here really quick and just kind of show you what the follow-ups include, okay? Alrighty. So for you can do emails, and the contact is the person that rented it, and the business is yourself. You can do in-app, so that means if you have the Lead Connector app downloaded, you can choose who gets the notification as like a little pop-up. All right. If you want to send them text messages with their notification, like their confirmation or a reminder, you can do that as well. And of course, you can use WhatsApp if you use that and want to connect it. Usually pretty useful for if you're hosting out of town people, because a lot of people use WhatsApp. Um, I think going abroad with like your regular text messaging is like easier now, but you never know. And just as another reminder, you can set up your notification follow-ups on a workflow. So you can either do a workflow if you want other actions like tagging whenever like specific notifications are going out or between stages before the booking, or you can also just do them right here in the native area. Okay, and then in-app settings, just when does your day start, like your week start, like, and it just has to do with how you show the calendar to your customers. Alrighty, so next up, I'm gonna go ahead and show you where you can view those rental records. Okay, so we are going to go to, okay. Excuse me. Hold on. I feel like I my mind is going blank of where it is. I apologize. Let's go into calendars right here and then appointment list. Okay. It's appointment list. I remember now. Okay. So you want to go back to your main menu right here for GrowthGenie 360, and you want to go to calendars and then go to appointment list view. So right here you have your meetings, but if you click on the drop down, you'll see rentals. So here's where you'll be able to see rentals. There are none right now because we haven't nobody's booked a rental. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create a manual booking. So if for some reason you have a if you have like a customer right in, like come into your shop or whatever, and they need to make and then they're a little bit confused on how, I don't know, maybe they're older or they just are not very good with technology and they can't understand how to check out, you can create the booking for them. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to click on that create booking button, and you can do booking or block slot. We're going to do both of them. And you can put the name of the person that is going to be renting. So I'm going to go ahead and use my information. And you can either add your own listing, like if it's like a special listing that you want to create for the client, or maybe they're the first ones to rent something that you just received and you haven't even put it on the website yet. You can create one right here, or by adding just the name and all that stuff. But you can also select the current listings. Then you set up their time. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So that's downloading. So you can set up the time that they're going to be doing the rental and how much time they're going to use it, how many items, and then of course your price and duration, which is not editable be editable because it's off of the listing. And then you can also add internal notes, like it says, it's just for your team. And don't forget to choose if it's automatically booked or unconfirmed. But because this person is probably booking, with you, then you probably want to book it and confirm it right away. And now you're going to click on create the booking, and your booking appears right here. All right. So just kind of let me show you the how that looks and just what you can see during the in the contact when you do the more information. So you can see the details of the booking. You can see the form submission in this specific scenario because we booked directly on the system and your client didn't check out. You're not going to see that. But if they completed this little form that you see right here, you would see that information over here. And right here is like where everything that has to do with payments. So you can collect payment by opening that and collecting payment now. And right here, you can kind of switch it around. So I don't know, maybe you want to do like a special discount that doesn't need like a coupon or anything. You want to go ahead and click collect now, and it's going to come up with either you record it manually, meaning checks, or maybe a card reader that's not connected to the system, or you can of course charge a card in person. So you get both of those options when you are renting and booking directly from the system. Transactions, you just have a list of transactions made with the client, and then you have your invoices. So here's showing the invoice that I have pending. And of course, you can add some internal notes for your employees or somebody else that's looking at that booking. Alrighty. And of course, you have these fun little uh, here we go, settings right here that you can either revert to unconfirmed. So if something for some reason happens, then you have to unconfirm the booking, or when you're creating the booking, you click unconfirmed, then it'll show up like this, and then you can click confirm. As you can see, the status right here is what's going to show that. Click confirm and mark as active. You can do that if they're currently on, like, their rental is period is currently happening, and mark as complete is after the current rental happens. And of course, you also have the cancel booking button if you need to cancel it for some reason. And when you go back into the appointment list, you're able to see the status situation, also the payment status uh, items that are right there. Okay. Now we're going to show you the what's it called? The is it okay? Hold on. Let me create another booking, and I'm going to show you
The
the
block
block slot.
slot.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was something else, but the block slot. And what does a block slot mean? So say you need you're doing like a weekly cleaning and disinfecting and checking or repairing of all your items, and you don't want people to book during that time because you might be closed for whatever reason. So or you don't want a specific listing to not be like to be unavailable because you have it has to, I don't know, maybe all 8 of your kayaks were damaged and you need to take all of your kayaks to be repaired. So they're not going to be available at a certain time, or you can either use, you can do five, three, whatever you want. Okay. So you can also add here like cleaning, maybe maintenance. Okay, another reason why you might want to do a block slot is because maybe your family is reserving it and you don't want anybody else to be able to reserve a certain amount of kayaks. So, and then you click the date and the time and the start date and the end time and all that stuff. And what happens is that now that block slot is not available in the calendar when they pick that single kayak. Okay. So if they want all 8 kayaks, they're not going to be able to rent all 8 kayaks. They're only going to be able to rent 5 kayaks. Alrighty. And let's see. Yeah, so that's kind of it when it comes to the new rental area. You can also, I mean, as always, you can view your active, completed, and all appointments. As you can see, you have the meeting and services. I'm sure we'll talk about that in another session, but don't forget, you go to your calendars, calendar settings, and then you click on the rental button, and you're able to just start creating listings. And some common mistakes that we want to teach you to avoid is number one, using an appointment calendar. Um, wait, hold on. Okay, treating a physical calendar like a regular appointment calendar. Physical calendars can get uh, lost, or I don't know, like uh, they can get thrown away or something like that, and you might miss important information regarding your rentals. Number two is creating unclear listing names or descriptions. As I mentioned briefly earlier, you want to make sure that your descriptions are thorough, just in case the client is confused as to what they are renting. Number three is using variants when separate listings would be easier to manage, or failing to use variants when they are needed. So if the variables of a kayak are so different, you don't want to just put in the variations because clients can miss it. Okay, and then forgetting number four is forgetting minimum and maximum rental durations. It's something very standard that a lot of people use, so don't forget to put your minimum, even if it's like an hour. If you don't have a minimum, don't forget to set that. And number five, not adding preparation, cleaning, or inspection buffers. Buffers are super important. You don't want to have to rush while like from rental to rental. So always include your buffers. Six, failing to block assets during repair or internal use. And that's what I showed you with the block slot. Very important that you have those so that people don't accidentally rent and then they get mad at you, because that does happen. Alrighty. Number seven is forgetting to update taxes, payment settings, or listing prices. So every, I don't know, every so time, every amount of time you want to go ahead and just check your pricing just in case, making sure everything is updated. Number eight is activating listings before testing availability, pricing, forms, and notifications. This is a very important one because, as we all know, technology is not perfect and sometimes it fails, or sometimes we put in a setting wrong. So always test your process, your listings, always test that before you put it out there, and test your payment settings and all that stuff. And just make sure that you do that, if because if you don't test it, your clients might have any like issues. And then number nine, not assigning a team member to monitor unconfirmed or unpaid bookings. If you don't have somebody actually monitoring, you might miss any bookings that might be unconfirmed, but they're about to happen. And that is all I have for you today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria. And
Yeah.
that gives everyone a much better picture of how all these pieces work together. And what I especially want everyone to notice is that this feature isn't just about putting a rental online. It's just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. The real value comes from being able to connect all the pieces of the operation or all the different parts of your operation with the availability, inventory, payments, booking information, and customer communication. So, of course, because of that, there are fewer things your team has to manually track. Although, of course, Maria mentioned earlier that there still has to be a person in charge um, to monitor that. But then again, because of the things being taken care of in the central system, there's less manual work for your team. Okay, so we know there's a lot of information because this is a new feature. Okay, so and probably some of you will just will just be starting to explore it. So feel free to ask any question if you need help setting it up. Of course, our team will be glad to help you out with that one. Okay, so for today we covered rentals and uh if there's anything else that you want to or along the way if there's any questions that come up feel free to reach out or you can also use our comment section or even the hotline support hour channel for topic ideas or any help that you are that you need help on. Okay, so now that we are down to the wrap up section, I just wanted to once again put it out there. If you are watching this recording sometime after today, that's probably a few days or even months from now, and then you notice that oh, that looks different from my screen, but what they're showing looks different because that can happen and that's expected to happen because GrowthGenie 360 is an ever evolving platform. We the system continues to improve, update features just like this one. It's not there before, but now this is live. So while the exact features, buttons, options may shift a little bit, the core ideas that we have covered will always still apply. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for joining today's Hotline Support Hour. And we'll see you again in our future sessions. Bye bye.